Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do another video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. Get my radio voice going and let's talk about this. I'm going to make a statement that will upset a lot of people, but let's be realistic. Most people should probably spend their lower body time in the gym just doing squats and deadlifts, and maybe still a little bit of accessory work. Now, when I say that, people get upset. Well, nobody's going to win the Mr. Olympia doing that. Yeah, the average person's not going to win the Mr. Olympia, are they? They don't have the genetics and they're not going to use the stuff to do it. They're not going to dedicate their whole life to it. So why bring that up? You're not going to win the Bikini Miss Universe doing that. I'm going to give you the same answer. You're not going to set the world record in any strength sport just doing that. I don't know about that part, but I'll say probably not. But we come back over to the same answer. What if a person says, I just want a really nice butt, really nice legs, I want to be strong, athletic, and have good lower body development? Yeah, that'll get the job done. And it'll help with the athletic part. That's the point. When I discuss a lot of these accessory movements that I like to give a lot of my lifters, what people need to factor in, these are lifters with extreme goals. Like people say, but you say you love leg press for your power lifters. I adore the leg press for my elite power lifters. Do you know why? Because sometimes they need more training volume than someone who's not going to live in the gym. Sometimes they need more leg volume to get their quads and their glutes and everything growing the way that I need. Okay? Their resistance to it is higher and I don't load their spine. People say, well, why does the average Joe need that? Why does that matter for them? It's very simple. I don't want 500 or 600 pounds sitting on top of their back over and over and over and over and over all week long. It beats up their recovery. I mean, how many work sets do you really think a human is going to recover from with 550 pounds sitting on their back and squatting it all the way down? I mean, really, how long are you just going to beat that? It buries your recovery eventually. When you're only strong enough to do 315, I don't care. Unless you're a girl. Now, if you're a woman, all right, that's probably comparable. But if you have a woman who only, her work sets with squats are 185, you have a man whose work sets with squats are 225, am I really concerned with excessive axial loading and beating them up? Do I really care about the stimulus to fatigue? I mean, really, does any coach really care at that point? I'm going to go on a limb and say until we get past, 500 plus on a squat for a man, we start getting well over 300 on a squat for a woman, I don't care about this. And here's the point. For the average person at the gym who it's not a major obsession, even if they're hiring me as a coach, they just want to look good. If a woman can squat 275 for reps, man can squat 405 for reps, are they going to have their physique goals for their lower body? Yes. They're going to get the perk of all the other athleticism carried over. Deadlifts, it's the same thing. Right? Run into the same thing. People say, well, deadlifts don't build. Deadlifts are an amazing hypertrophy exercise. Show me evidence that they aren't. Your only argument against the deadlift is a hypertrophy exercise. Not that the only study looking at hypertrophy didn't show massive hypertrophy, because it did. It did actually beat the squat overall, but I digress. EMG studies, I mean, a lot of the movements people want to talk about for their back and for the hamstrings and everything else, I mean, again, not saying EMG studies are the be all end all, but because it's not for hypertrophy. They aren't, and I don't believe that they are. They still destroy most of those other lifts. They clearly have higher levels of neural activation on those lifts. I mean, if we were to go off EMG studies, we would think the deadlift is the king of lat exercises. We would think it's the king of hamstring exercises. But here's the thing. It does build a lot of your upper back. Build your core. It will build big hamstrings, build big glutes. Okay? Studies on squats, they produce fantastic glute and adductor hypertrophy, fantastic quad hypertrophy. There's data showing they're pretty good for calves. Deadlift less quad emphasis, a lot of glute though, a lot of hamstring, a lot of back. We'll build your traps, other stuff. These two movements cover a lot of ground. For someone on a limited time frame in the gym, they don't have limitless recovery, they don't have limitless gym time, I could literally give them those two exercises, program them correctly, teach them correctly, maybe a little bit of other work. They need more hamstrings, we might look into a hamstring curl. If they need other overall posterior chain, I will give them a good morning. They need to have their calves just sucking, like, man, I really need better look calves. We'll do some calf raises, that's fine. Perfectly fine. Older guy with some low back potential issues, we might do reverse hypers, or if we're concerned with that, we might just throw that in by default if they have access. But I mean, right there's a perfect example. I could get people to a pretty high level just properly programming and teaching a squat, a conventional barbell deadlift, not a sumo. If our goal is hypertrophy, and then I could literally have them do good mornings or reverse hypers. Do you know what? Average person with that properly programmed would be extremely happy with their lower body development. All right, then we talk about, let's not just talk about the hypertrophy end, because then we come over to the other attributes. How about the core involvement? How about the upper body potential carryover? How about the athleticism? Because there is your big winner. There's where the squat is phenomenal. There's a reason barbell back squats are pertinent and useful in many elite sports. Sprinters, football players, fighters, all these people, they do barbell back squats. Why? Because the carryover to overall athleticism is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Again, am I saying that a lot of clients and other people shouldn't do other stuff? No. But when you start, because they may benefit from other movements, and I very much program those for Gen Pop. But I want to be clear here. If most of your efforts are put in the squat and the deadlift, you're going to get more total benefit from your time spent in the gym. That is my point. You're looking for efficiency, you're going to get the most out of them. If you're strapped for time 1 week, let's say you have a phase for a few weeks where you can't get the same gym time. If you cut down your lower days to just squats and deadlifts, will you still make gains? Absolutely. You'll still make phenomenal gains. So when I make these statements, this is what I'm talking about. Because keep in mind, I do other stuff myself too. I program other stuff for other people. There's a lot of movements I like. I love reverse hypers. I love good mornings. I love leg presses. I don't think everyone necessarily has to train those that hard. I don't think that they're a high priority. I think everybody will get good mileage out of a squat and a deadlift for sure. Again, particularly general population, or people with who are strapped for total gym time. Because we don't care about the stimulus to fatigue. If your workouts have to be 45 minutes 3 times a week or 4 times a week, and that is all you can squeeze in, or 30 minutes, we don't care about your stimulus to fatigue. All we care about is stimulus. The fatigue's largely irrelevant at that point. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.